Hello, I'm ADDF Toxic, and welcome to the 2 Hour Track Challenge premiere stream. Today's June 12th. So every week I find a couple hours to make a piece of music within the time limit of 2 hours. Really sort of push my creative boundaries in that way, and it also gives me a chance to experiment with styles and instruments and stuff that I don't normally get to work with. Um, and sometimes it comes out with cool results. So I like to share it with the world, and I do that first a couple weeks later on this Twitch stream. I sort of premiere the track. I'll give it a first play in just a couple minutes here, maybe even one, and then I'll take a look back at how I made the track. Make sure that I have a title, and then I can make a video so that I can put it up on YouTube so that it can be a little bit easier accessible. So for June 6th, no, that's not right. June 1st, 2019, I made this little track right here. I know today that the world is crazy. I'm looking to you for a haven. Maybe one day I'll set fire to the raven, set the ghosts of then ablaze. I don't know if I can go on without him. What should I do now that I have nothing? I see a bluebird from afar. She's flying to me through the stars, waving towards a boxcar. No control in the back of this car. I know today that the world is crazy. You're looking to me for a haven. All that you see is that he caved in. I don't want this world to seem hazy. I'm right here. Right. Yeah, that's the song. Let me switch over to Ableton. Oh, I guess I should start that. So the story behind this track here is, I've been working on an album, an instrumental album, and it uses a lot of acoustic guitars and acoustic bass. That's actually the original reason I bought that bass, because it was sounding really nice in that whole album. I thought it was just going to be a single track, and then it ended up being the whole album. But I was trying to record the bass line for one particular track, and my mic was just giving me all sorts of problems. It just kept making a popping noise, and it's been happening for a while. I'd tried a bunch of things, bought a new cable, and things like that. And eventually I just got tired of this. So on Monday, the week that I made the song, I brought the mic into the music store, and I checked it in for repairs and rented a similar mic. It's actually I have an ARTC2. The one I rented is an ARTC3, which, from what I can tell, the big difference is that it has a switch so that it can go between cardioid, a shotgun pattern, and omnidirectional. Whereas the C2, it's only omnidirectional, because that's all I need. But anyway, so I rented that C3 so that I can actually work on this. Still work on this track, and actually, I did get a good take of that today, and my finger is still sore from pressing those bass strings. And I just wanted a chance to complain about that. So Usually, if I have like a new sound library or like when I bought my electric bass, when it finally came in, first thing I did was made a 2-hour track challenge with that. That's sort of how uh, that's how I first play with these new things, right? Um, so with the microphone, I'm renting this microphone. I decided I do that same sort of thing. Um, this 2-hour track challenge, I wanted to just use a whole bunch of record a whole bunch of stuff with this microphone. Um, so I started with the percussion. Let me take a drink of water. Um, I guess I'll back up a little bit. I knew I was going to use like acoustic bass and acoustic guitar, maybe some vocal stuff. I was thinking like scat or humming, things like that. Um, and before um, before I did the challenge, I went to Subway for dinner. And whenever I'm at Subway, I always have this pure leaf iced tea because I like this stuff. Um, and the reason this is significant is last year I made a track, a 2-hour track challenge. I call it Everything on the Sub. It'd be somewhere around. Let's see if I can actually find it now. There it is. And in this track, right around here, I was just sort of hitting this bottle against my hand. So while I was sitting at Subway on June 1st of this year, I decided, you know what, maybe I'll get that sort of idea again with this bottle, because I had another one of these. Oh, that's the wrong window. This time I won't layer it with tune track drums like I did in Everything on the Sub. This time I made a percussion track entirely with this, well, except for one small spot. So I did a little bit of rubbing on it and then hitting it just to give it a little bit of variation. I had the click on as I recorded this whole thing. Got a little bit of cut there just to, well, I guess I'm jumping ahead in my story there. At one point, while I was just improvising the rhythm, I took off the lid to get a bit more of a hollow sound. That was right around here, I think. So here, let me just actually play a bit of this. Why can I not hear anything? Why are you going to the TV? That's better. That's a little bit of a slower part, but that's where I took the cap off, and that's the more hollow sound. Then I wanted to get back to the closed cap sound a little bit later. But I dropped the cap. I had to pick up the cap from the floor and then screw it back on. And by the time I had done all that, when I listened to it back, I didn't like it, so that's why I just cut that whole piece out and just went straight back to the closed cap beat here. I guess that's a little bit quiet. So once I got that done, then I went in and recorded acoustic bass. I wanted to do something that's sort of similar to what I'm doing in the track that I've been trying to record acoustic bass for, which is actually still kind of an introduction here, because I thought it fit well with the drum, what I was doing with the bottle. But yeah, so that's sort of the basic idea of the bass. I later added acoustic guitar. And the thing with the acoustic guitar is I'm just absolute garbage at it. Just want to make sure I'm at full volume here. So there's a whole bunch of the rhythm keeps going off. It gets really bad somewhere around here. It's just, everything is just out of time. And I knew that, but I thought maybe I was gonna deal it with some automation, because this was actually the first time I'd used Ableton 10.1, and I knew there had been some changes to automation, so I wanted to play with that a little bit. But the other cheat here that I did was this whole part here is G, D, G, D, 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 and I think that was a C at 9 that I played there. And this part just slows down a little bit to fit nice with the bottle, because the bottle was seemed like it was taking the song somewhere else, so I let the guitar also take the song somewhere else. But changing from whatever chord I was playing here to this was a B minor, I think. Yeah, let's see if I have the tune. Yeah, B flat. And I was imagining this in the key of G. Key of G doesn't have B flat. I don't know if it was supposed to be a major or minor. I'm garbage at both of them on that chord. And the hardest part there is transitioning to it. So I kind of just cheated and just stopped playing at this point. Came back. Well, actually, I didn't come back here. I ended up re-recording another piece there for the ending. And then put this on a separate track. And I was actually using a capo on the guitar at this point. I kept switching between. Oh yeah, I was getting a different rhythm here too. Some of these are B flat major, some of these are B flat minor. Because again, I didn't know what. Since I was kind of ignoring the key, I couldn't really look to the key of G to tell me which of those it should have been. So I was about to go somewhere. Where was it? Oh yeah. This part was getting a little bit messy with me not properly keeping time, and just not properly keeping time in anything. I don't do percussion stuff very much. Both acoustic guitars. I was just being really bad about keeping time, and I was thinking about doing some sort of ring mod or something to make it seem a little bit less bad, I guess, because I've done that before. But instead, I ended up adding a little bit extra percussion in the form of. Let's see if I can show it here. That there's the drum kit from when I used to play Band Hero all the time. It is connected to MIDI. However, I don't usually use that just because it's sometimes it doesn't exactly work. But also I need to actually put a Wiimote in there as a power source. And the Wiimote needs to be on and connected to something, or else it won't stay on. So it's kind of a pain. And then on top of that, just me not doing percussion very often. Can't keep a beat with it and whatnot. Plus, my point here was to use the microphone. Use the microphone as much as I could. So I pulled up the drumsticks and just sort of drummed a little rhythm on the pad. So it sounds very plastic. And I hit the rim at the end there. That's why it sounded different. And I played around with this a bit just to find a rhythm that kind of, it's somewhere in between the messed up rhythm of everything else and a proper rhythm of where everything else was trying to be, which I think kind of helped it pull it back towards feeling like everything is right. So everything. and still everything's not perfect. You can still tell that it's fucked up, but I think it sounded a lot better after I put that in. It's just one of those weird things where you somehow making things more fucked up makes things feel less fucked up. So there was without, here it is with. I think I had forgotten where I was when I was recording the bass as well. Why did I write electric bass? Um, so that's it really didn't help with everything being wrong because it was supposed to be back to the GD thing here, and I was lollygagging in B here somehow. So that's also why this is just cut off and replaced here, because I just kind of cut out me realizing that I'm fucking things up. It's it's an experiment. It's a challenge, you know. I do what I can in 2 hours. Um, so that brings me to the point of the vocals. Um, I was just over an hour. Um, I had been working on this track for just over an hour when I felt that everything um, that it was time to start figuring out what I want to do vocally because I wanted to, at least do some like or something like that. That doesn't fit with the song, but that sort of thing, or maybe just humming. But while I was on my walk home from Subway, I had this random thought about setting a bird ablaze. And I'm not talking like a phoenix or a ho-oh or something that's supposed to be on fire flying across the sky. I was thinking something like a raven. I don't know where this thought came from, but it popped into my head, and I'm like, what's that supposed to mean? I guess I decided to try to figure out what that's supposed to mean. So I'll copy the lyrics into a notepad here, just to so we can sort of look at it. So I started writing this this first verse. I think originally it said set the raven ablaze, but it was just I spent most of this last hour working on these lyrics, doing a few takes of recording it, realizing what doesn't work very well, what fits and what doesn't, and came up with this ninth take that I have in the song. And these lyrics here, actually, in a way, ended up being just a love letter to Life is Strange, because I can't get enough of that game, I guess. You may be able to tell. So this is actually more before the stormish. This kind of tells the story of two people that they both have crappy stuff going on, and they sort of bond over that. They seek haven in each other. And originally Haven I wrote because I was writing Raven, and Haven rhymes with Raven. Somehow I got this first line to be I know today that the world is crazy. Then I decided to rhyme, or I think actually I probably wrote a blaze first and then rhymed crazy with that, even though there's a crazy, a blaze, E, something missing there, but it's close enough. um, and setting the ghost of then Blaze. That's kind of representing moving past Chloe's dad's death and whatnot. But this is obviously about him again. How am I supposed to go on? And then Rachel appears. I see a blue bird from afar. She's flying to me through the stars. Rachel loves stars. Waving towards a boxcar that's reference to the boxcar scene. And the no control in the back of this car is in reference to the dream that Chloe has shortly after the fight with Rachel at the end of episode 1. And then it turns around to say, you're looking to me for a haven. With this, again, this first line, I know today the world is crazy. So it's sort of the same, sort of a verse structure in a way. But this time I decided to change obviously flip that around. And then these last two lines are just completely from the other perspective. Again, all that you see is that it caved in is about Rachel's dad. And I don't want this world to seem hazy. That's not only is it rhyme to crazy, but it's also sort of references the fire. And caved in is, of course, rhymes don't help me with that one, but it's a rhyme with haven. And then I'm right here at the end. That was actually just me being completely impulsive. That's the word. And it was only this one take that I did it. I sang the whole song. Well, I guess not the whole song. I couldn't seem to find placement for this last line in the first little bit. No control on the back of this car. Couldn't place it quite right in the song. This is way too loud. Also, that's not on. In the back of this car. So it's kind of it's again that whole mess of lost my rhythm at the end of the B part of the B flat part. And this just went along with that. And I decided to this needed to match up with where the verse started here. I know today that needed to start right at the beginning. So that's why it's on a second track. I figured that it kind of makes sense for this line to not exactly line up. No control. It kind of lines up with the song being a mess in a way. But then of course I got to myself singing on top of myself there, which I don't know, probably not the best thing. This first line is the same as the first line back here, so we can kind of fill that in. But I did do a little side chain. This car here, I sang it way too hard. But there is also a side chain here from vocals too. And it's a pretty strong one, just so that the next line kind of pushes the back of this car line back a little bit so that it can shine instead. The world is crazy. You're looking to me for a haven. All that you see is that he caved in. I don't want this world to seem hazy. Right here. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. And again, I'm right here was just something that I threw in as it happened. And actually, if you listen to this right here, that laugh was because I didn't expect to actually say that right here. but actually that's kind of a reference to episode 3 of Before the Storm, right at the beginning. Because Chloe says that to Rachel. I'm right here. Yeah, it would be episode 3. So yeah, I just cut the laugh out, kept the I'm right here. And that recording those vocals basically took me to the end of my 2 hours. There was like 2 minutes left, and I was listening to it, and I'm like, you know what? The line about stars needs a little bit of a sparkle. And this is the one thing that I didn't record with the rental mic. This here is a wind chime from Ben Burns' wind chime pack, which I think is still his newest. What in the world am I doing? Because he didn't release one for June. Had too much else going on and wasn't able to make one. So I'm just trying to pull up the thing here. Yeah, so this wind chime sample pack, this is the newest one here. This is where that sound came from. And I just wanted it to be a little tiny little sparkle. Little tiny little sparkle. So I cut out most of it. Turn the delay off. And it just kind of ends suddenly, so this delay just kind of helps it ring out a little bit more sparkly rather than a ding dong, like as if it's a doorbell or something. And again, since this is Ableton 10.1, this is my first time using this, I had no idea how to use the delay. I couldn't find the thing in the list at first because it's under D instead of P like I was looking for. And then I had to figure out this new interface really fast. I did this just in time for just before the end of my 2 hours. So it was a perfect time, I guess. So I need a title for this now. And for once, I think I actually do have a couple titles. I do have 3 titles written down. Set the Raven ablaze. One bird to another. Yeah. The one that I really like that I wrote down is Haven for 2 birds. Even though the lyrics don't explicitly say that they're both birds, I think the idea of that title is neat. And if I was continuing writing these lyrics, if this wasn't something that I rushed to write in an hour, I'd probably sort of fix that to make the symbolism so that they're both birds, right? And there are other things in here that I'd fix, like the audience sort of changes. Like here, I see a bluebird from afar. She's flying to me through the stars, but you're looking to me for Haven. That's talking to the same person. That doesn't make sense. But you know, speed writing. This is a kind of thing to look for. We'll watch for, I guess. It's been all practice. So June 1st, Haven for 2 birds. Let me actually give the song another play here. That is everything on the sub. That's where this thing feels quiet. So I'll export this to 601.
I know today that the world is crazy. I'm looking to you for a haven. Maybe one day I'll set fire to the raven, set the ghosts of then.
And then I will pull up, now that image is exported.
If I can go on without him. What
gonna put the
should
date
I
in here a
do
bunch of
now
times.
that
And this is
I
the
have
script so that I can make
nothing? I see a
a
bluebird from afar.
video.
She's flying to
Very simple video.
me through the stars, waving towards a boxcar. No control in the back of this car. I know today that the world is crazy, looking to me for a haven.
I don't know why I just closed that.
All
But one thing that I did, another thing that I did here is with the vocals, where when it switches tracks, this is pan 16 to the left, this is pan 17 to the right. You know, they're pretty close. It's just a little bit of a change in pan for, I guess, in a way to help separate car and I know. But also I just thought it was kind of cool. So anyways, yeah, that was just another thing that I forgot to point out. Alright, so that video is in the making. I will shut this down. Yep. No. Turn that setting off, because it drives me crazy right now. And then I'll let me just change this before I forget. I'll wonder why I can't hear my music tomorrow at work. At this point, I like to shift the stream to. Sometimes I'll work on a project if I have a project that I can work on stream. If not, let's play a game or something. And the game tends to be Color Jumper. So let me just switch this over. Color Jumper, there we go. Good luck. Yeah, I'm gonna need that. Right, where's my controller? So I'll just play this for a little bit and then I'll go back and make sure that the video did render properly, and then close out the stream with one more listen to the song. Oh crap, really? It's been quite a few weeks since I played this. I can't jump. Oh, there I jumped. There I jumped. Oh, really? Oh, crap. Yeah, what I should actually do is, oops. Ben released another game recently. Well, it's in public beta, I think, right now is what he said. But it's called Extreme Mining. And I've been meaning to check it out, and I just keep forgetting. Maybe one of these days I'll have to do that. Well, fuck that up. That way I can get that now. Yeah. Man. Aha. Oh, fuck that up again. Surprisingly didn't fuck that up. Why do I keep fucking that up? Oh! That shouldn't be that hard. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with that. Whoop, that was just kind of dumb. Crap. No, that's not the jump button. Or the rotate button. I just didn't feel like waiting for it to come back down again. Gotcha! Okay, now. I haven't gotten past this part yet. It's probably because I suck at jumping. Yep, see? I suck. Sometimes I wonder why I play this game when I suck so bad. Aha! Missed that. Missed that horribly. Gotcha. Fuck. Ben, how do I do this? Ben, give me an easy mode. Again, that's the restart button, not the jump button. I feel like I'm doing something wrong there, but it's probably just that I'm out of practice. Slash, I'm not very good at that stuff anyway. Ah. Should have landed one more on the green. And I'm not talking about golf. Really? I thought I got that one. I really don't like this part. It's very mean. Actually, the next part looks pretty mean too. Fucking fuck. Great. Oh yeah, just even greater. Oh, jeez. Felt like I was getting somewhere, and then I did something stupid. But that was stupid too. I don't know. I don't need to restart there. But that's okay. Really? I'm just messing everything up right now. I am ridiculously bad at that part, you know. Oh, I need to restart. I was aiming for the green. That's what you do in golf, right? Aim for the green. Well, yeah, aim for the hole, but the green is better than the sand trap. Whoops. Nope. Oh. I knew I shouldn't have done that. I just ran into that. Just blatantly ran right into it. I was attempting to practice. Yeah. What is wrong with me? Wait, don't answer that. Give me a second. I need to get my story straight. I just realized we're going to set something up here. There we go. Okay, but too far. Nope, too far again. Yeah, really? That was dumb. Yeah. Tried aiming for the green one again. I was unsuccessful. I tried staying balanced for a little longer. Preferably against the green and not against the black. Nope. Jumped right into it again. Dodged the thing that I needed to catch. Nope. Did not jump over the top. Oh, shit. Whoops. Well, fuck. Landed right on the key. I am way over the rotation target already. That's okay. I'm not paying attention, especially since I'm doing shit like that. I guess really I should have practiced that wall at that point. Come back. Aha! Ah, I missed that. And again, I should have recovered from the landing. For the landing. Oops, practice the wall. Okay. Oops, I didn't need to rotate there. Ooh, that just about knocked me into the ground. Shit, I was getting there. I just gotta stop landing right on the freaking bullets, is what I gotta do. I should have practiced, but I did not. Oh, that was already the way around. Good song, by the way. Right way around, my daughter. Unfortunately, I do not have it on the CD that I have. Ah, fuck. Ah. Okay, a few more tries. Get over there, thank you. Aha. Ah! My mind is basically already given up. Yep, see, that was stupid. Yeah, I'll just leave that there. I know that wasn't much time, but that's the kind of game that I can't play too much, because I just drive myself crazy. I lie awake, I drive myself crazy. I did not even get close to that note. What am I trying to do? Other than randomly beat a bottle, plastic bottle. Right, so here's the video. Seems to be working pretty good. I like to just give it a quick test. That's my. But I'm also going to take this opportunity to end the stream. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Let me actually pull up the done screen here.
I know today that the world is crazy.
Next week I'll be doing another 2-hour track challenge premiere.
For a haven.
And for some reason I can't remember what I did.
I'll set fire to the raven. Set the ghosts of then ablaze. I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't remember. But anyways,
what should I
I'm also streaming weekend stream probably on Saturday, where I can continue with the game Dusk, which I've been having quite a lot of fun with. So that's Saturday, and if you want notifications for that, there's obviously. It's weird talking over myself singing here.
In the back of this car, I know today that The world is crazy, you're looking to me for a haven. All that you see is that he caved in. I don't want this world to seem hazy.
Okay, so anyways, if you want notifications for my upcoming streams, of course, there's you can follow me on Twitch, or I do also have a Discord where I have a channel dedicated to notifications for live events. So I post that there as well, and of course my Twitter and YouTube, which YouTube is where the video will go for the 2 hour track challenge. Twitter's, I sometimes say silly things. And actually, I'm going to. I want to. I usually don't catch Clea's streams, and I want to, so I'm gonna go raid. Let me see if I can figure out how to raid. Because she went live while I was streaming here, so let me just do that. And other than that, I'll see y'all around, and have a good life.